Disappearing Acts, a 2000 made-for-television drama directed by Gina Prince-Bythewood and stars Sanaa, Lathan, and Wesley Snipes. The film is an adaptation of the New York Times bestselling 1989 novel of the same name by Terry McMillian and covers the complicated relationship between aspiring singer Zora Banks and aspiring workman and rehabber craftsman Franklin Swift. Written by Lisa Jones, again directed by Gina Prince-Bythewood. Besides the leads, you have appearances by Q-Tip, Regina Hall,
Clark
Johnson, John Amos,
CCH
Pounder,
Lisa Aaron,
Ingenue Ellis.
Yes.
This was the choice of Lynn Webb as we begin our month of L'amour. Lynn, what do you have to say about Disappearing Acts?
Well, first of all, I hope that the very many missionaries who have requested that we review this film over the years, are happy that we have settled in to review this film. It was not a feature film released in the theaters. It was an HBO adaptation, but it's not just the movie; it's HBO.
There you go.
So I said, hey, let's step outside the box. Haven't done it for a while, so let's do this. And it is a film that is fondly remembered by a lot of people.
Yes.
From a book that is fondly remembered by a lot of people. Disappearing Acts was a successful best-selling novel for Terry McMillian. Arguably the book that put her on the map. Waiting to Exhale is her follow-up.
Sure.
Which is the book that made her the megastar that she is. Thus why that movie got made before this film. Direct-to-film feature. But this movie, I was very curious about this movie, remembering what little I knew about it from when I saw it.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking to myself, 2000. I think this is pretty young in Sanaa Lathan's career.
It is.
And looking back on it, I'm right, because this is like maybe her third or fourth film. And it's right at the time where you can feel Hollywood or Black Hollywood is making the push to make Sanaa Lathan like the it girl.
Sure.
Right. Stepping into the Nia Long space, the Vivica Fox space. Right. And they're definitely making that push with Sanaa Lathan. And you can see it. She's locked onto a director because this is her second work with Gina Prince-Bythewood following Love and Basketball. And then she moves into this movie playing, yes, it's a romantic film, but it's not a comedy. It's a drama. And the character is different. Zora Banks, as you mentioned, is a singer. She is someone who's just stepped out of a relationship and is picking up and moving on with her life into New York, into this brownstone, into New York, wanting to break into singing while being a teacher to pay the bills, and is weary of the men leery of the men coming her way. Wesley Snipes in 2000 is decidedly like he's Wesley Snipes. He is mid-80s, 90s action drama hero Wesley Snipes. So for him to step into this HBO film as the romantic lead, some viewed it as, Wesley's doing some Gina a favor or moving in HBO or wanting to show a different side of himself, and you can maybe get that narrative because of his look. He's fully shaved, no facial hair. It's a decidedly different side of Wesley Snipes that he's presenting on the screen. And also he co-produces it. His Amon Ra Productions co-produces this film. So, all right. Do Wesley Snipes a little older than Sanaa Lathan?
Yes.
Does he have the chemistry with Sanaa Lathan to pull this off? He does. We have always said Wesley Snipes is a man who, in that time, he was probably the only actor who could give Denzel Washington a run for his money wherever he wanted to roll. Mm-hmm. Wesley Snipes just landed more into the action field than Denzel did. But when asked to put on his acting chops, drama, or even comedy, Wesley could bring it.
Mm-hmm.
And so now he's asked to be more romantic than he probably has been asked and more often, a little bit more stripped down in this film. And Wesley brings it. And Sanaa Lathan, even though she is young in her career,
mm-hmm.
she brings it as well.
Mm-hmm.
And they bring it out in each other so that this film, which has to hinge 100% on their chemistry and the believability of Zora and Franklin as a couple, it works. It's a little unbelievable how they meet, kind of like the meet cute. He's the craftsman working on her house, I mean, it's not unbelievable, but it's a little, I don't know. It feels a little first passage on the script a little bit, but it still works. And I think it works primarily because they pull it off.
Mm-hmm.
They pull it off. And then, and I also think it works because the film is not really interested in how they meet. The film wants to get them together because the disappearing act of this movie that they want to talk about, at least to my point of view, is the disappearing act that happens from the beginning of a relationship until you get into the meat of the relationship.
Right.
And when things get real, when the veneer comes off, when you start to reveal yourselves to one another. Wesley starts it off by they've been kicking it for a little bit. And then he drops it on her. Hey, I'm technically still married to a woman that I've been separated from for 4 years.
Sure.
But in the 4 years, I haven't been able to put together the money to file for a divorce. I have 2 sons with her that I'm still very much a part of their lives. I break off money to her, whatever little money I make, as like this unlicensed craftsman.
And why is he unlicensed?
And he's unlicensed because he dropped out of high school and he doesn't have his GED, and he needs his GED in order to get a license.
Mm-hmm.
And he hasn't followed through on any of that. So he's just pretty much working these odd jobs. And because he's unlicensed, he's at he has to just take the jobs that he can get, including this one guy played by Michael Imperioli, who, hey, I'll throw you a job when I can, but because you're not licensed, because you're ununioned, I can also say, I don't need you this week.
Yeah.
So the money it's very hit or miss. But he drops that on her. Feels like a few weeks into them seeing each other.
Yeah.
Right? She doesn't drop it on him. Later in their relationship, after they're living together, he learns that she has epilepsy.
Yeah.
Because she suffers a seizure in the middle of the night. And he's like, whoa, what's going on with this? So the veneers start to come down. And then surely because of his job situation and his, obligations to his sons, money is becomes an issue, and that becomes a big crux of the third act of this film.
Yeah.
As it rears its ugly head, and it causes a rift in their relationship. All of these things are very real.
Yeah.
Who one of us has not had something similar that they've had to come across? And the reality of those situations make this a very relatable movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the film is a success for the most part because of the chemistry. I do think that the script loses sight of some of these balls that they're throwing up in the air. The epilepsy is mentioned and then forgotten.
Sure.
It's never really mentioned. It's not an issue again.
Sure.
The him pulling back about the kids and his job situation, that becomes very much a running theme of the film as that starts to pull at the strings on their relationship until it really tugs really hard, and they break up. There also is some not too subtle commentary on their backgrounds, and their quote unquote class.
Yeah.
And,
you know,
she being a teacher, an artist, her friends being, especially her one friend played by Lisa Arundel, being more of a socialite, maybe like feels like she's like a six-figure earner. Her husband,
I think she's a lawyer.
She's a lawyer, right?
And he's an investment banker.
Right. So they definitely have money. Her other girlfriend, played by Regina Hall, I don't remember us getting a read into what she does for a living, but she certainly seems like
you get the sense she moves in that world.
Right. She's in that world as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where she lives. That's where she hangs.
Yeah.
Wesley Snipes, for the most part, we see him as more or less a freelance construction worker, even though he considers himself more of a craftsman with wood. That's his dream. But when we don't see him on the construction site, we basically see him hanging out in a bar with his friend Clark Johnson, who was a gambler, just a buddy who gambles. So they seem to come from different sides of the track.
Yes.
And the bumping of heads that creates is also something that happens, and it's very realistic in how that can definitely become the strains,
Yeah.
You see you feel these unintentional slights at one another.
Yeah.
At like, oh, you don't think I know what wine we're supposed to drink,
Oh yeah.
I know what this word means, like, yes, Bawana is actually a word for Scrabble, and that becomes an interesting tug and pull in this film, that again, because of the chemistry between them, as well as, let's also point it out, the direction of Gina Prince-Bythewood. She's very early, and she's very early in her career as well. It really sells this film.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing that sells this film is that you have Lisa Arundel, an actor who we don't see haven't seen enough of.
True.
Regina Hall, early in her career, but already, like you just said, in the pocket of Regina. And I'm going to say it, maybe one of the better actors in the film, Q-Tip.
Look.
Q-Tip, playing Q-Tip.
Yeah.
But he's not playing Q-Tip trying to act Q-Tip.
Look, he's playing a producer.
He's playing a music producer, and he's on his grind.
Yeah,
you feel that he is in character at every step of the way. He is very believable. He is on point in this film. Because of that, every aspect of the movie thus feels believable. Honestly, the only thing that doesn't feel believable is Michael Imperioli's character as this construction guy. Even though he's from The Sopranos, I just don't believe him in the role.
Okay,
but he's still good. I think he's just doing a solid.
Right. It almost seems like the white construction site guy.
Yeah,
he should have had a bigger role.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
I agree.
Because what he's hinting at, there's a lot of hints. The hints of the like the tension at the construction site, the hints of the epilepsy, the hint of the talk about bigger role. The hint of Wesley Snipes' parents, played by CCH Pounder and John Amos, and their viewpoint on their son is how he's living his life, and his mom, who ain't got no time for no Zora Banks.
Well, this is not her first time at the rodeo.
No, as she is wont to let know at the dinner table.
Like, I think Franklin has brought home a couple of cuties.
Yes.
So what you want from me?
I mean, but then you ain't got to shout her out like that. Quietest Cat, that did remind me of my mom. But talk about people that could have been in more than one scene in this movie. But that made every aspect of the movie just feel that much more believable.
Mm-hmm.
And it was almost as if Gina Prince-Bythewood took the lessons of Love and Basketball, a movie that we love, a movie that is beloved, and said, you know what? I like that. It was good. But I think with this piece, especially because she's working with a novel here, it's not an original script. So she's got text. She's got Terry McMillian's writing. I think here I can do something maybe a little bit more stripped down, a little bit more authentic in tone, even though I think the script is maybe at times a little cringy, but a little more authentic in tone. And I think we can nail something here. And not for nothing, she nails the romance, she nails the drama, and she nails the sexuality.
Yeah.
Because what I also like about this film is that this is a film that is for the female gaze and for the male gaze.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Because there is loving depictions of both Wesley Snipes, Sanaa Lathan, them together, them solo. Everybody is fed off of the film, off of the lovely imagery in this movie. There's a one moment in this movie where she goes to stop like these black and white images in the movie. It's smartly done.
Yeah.
I think that's a technique that maybe could have been used a little. I like when it's used. I think it could have been used like a little longer, a little more, but I loved it. And while I don't think that Sanaa Lathan ever made it to be the it girl, because there were so many girls at
it's real crowded.
Right, it gets crowded really, really quick. I think Sanaa Lathan, this was the start of her really starting to carve out a lane for herself. And I really appreciated seeing her in this role. And Wesley Snipes, this is just another reminder of what we lost when, unfortunately, he had to go away for some years, where I think that those years when he was dealing with legal issues are years when Wesley Snipes probably at that point maybe aging out of the action stuff, maybe leans even more into the drama. And just think of what we really could have seen on screen, especially with Amun Ra, his production company, behind him on such meaty film. I would have loved to see him more in HBO stuff. It was a pleasure to return to Disappearing Acts.
Yeah. Look, I'm a big fan of Terry McMillian. I don't think Terry McMillian, her legacy, gets as much respect as I think it should, frankly, because her primary audience was Black women.
Yeah.
And I think as an adaptation of Disappearing Act of the novel, I agree with pretty much everything that you said. Like the only thing I saw, like you said, the meet cute was a little meet cutish, but it all, like everything about this relationship, even from the very beginning, struck me as very organic. Like very much, I'm new in town. This is a guy who's working on the place. Like that all really made sense to me, even retroactively, where you could say there were some red flags.
Yeah.
You know, him like he kind of shows up unannounced, stands her up. She kind of, goes against her best interest. But even that, with the epilepsy, you get the sense that, unfortunately, her self-esteem isn't necessarily where it needs to be, where she talks about men can't handle that. So, but I really, really enjoyed this depiction of a relationship. As you said, oftentimes stories and films end with the big romantic gesture, but we never see the bulk of the relationship.
Yeah.
One of the things that this film has in common with, one of my absolute favorite, maybe my favorite Black romance, Love Jones, is you see this relationship and it is so messy.
Yep.
Like it is so messy. And these are some very complicated people. Franklin, as you said, he's got a lot of baggage. And he is not forthcoming with, which I think a lot of people are. On her end, she's got this stuff going on with how she's dealing with her disease. She's got, how she's approaching her career. She's not really in a place where she should be in a relationship, frankly. Like, I think one of the smarter things that the story shows is that this relationship is not good for them. And we know that because when they separate, they actually begin to
flourish
and flourish, which is both text and subtext. Like you, I love the performances, and I love them across the board. I think Q-Tip should act more. Like everything, I've seen Q-Tip, in this, the couple of minutes he's in Poetic Justice. Feel like I saw him in something else, but I like Q-Tip, and Q-Tip once again feels lived in. You get maybe 3 scenes with this girlfriend group.
Yeah, Lisa Arundel and Regina Hall.
But I thought the dynamic between the 3 of them was so realistic. I say this about Terry McMillian all the time. Terry McMillian has done the work. Like Terry McMillian, you can tell, has friends. She has lived a life. She's had a romance like this, or she knows somebody with a romance like this, just like us. Like we know couples like this, where it is this kind of back and forth. But you're talking about the sexuality. I like the sort of subtle hand that they use with this, that in a lot of ways they're using sex as a crutch.
Yeah.
Like when it comes time to really address some issues, excuse me, one of my favorite lines in the film, Anjanou Ellis plays his ex-wife, and she learns about Zora, and she says, tell her to call me, and so I can let her know that big dick ain't worth all the trouble.
That's right.
So, it's the subtext that then becomes the text that Franklin uses sex to bypass all. In fact, when they break up, she realizes what's happening, pulls away from him, because once again, he's trying to dickmatize her. The class issues, again, I'm going to keep saying lived in, visceral. And I love the way there's a dinner scene.
Yeah.
With her friends. Like you said, the one her friend is a lawyer. Her husband is an investment banker. Right. Zora's a teacher. So Franklin is one of these things is not like the other.
Right.
At the dinner table. And I love how the film never lands on whether or not are they being bougie or is he imagining things. You want, the thing about the wine. Do you want the wine? Zora chimes in and says, oh, just anything white. Is she saying that I don't know what the wine is? Or is she just talking?
Right.
He's talking about jazz. I start talking about jazz and what that looks like with white audiences. Am I being combative? Or am I just talking? And you see this.
Well, I think it's clear in his tone that he's being combative.
Right. But is he being combative because he's feeling judged?
Yeah.
Or is he being combative because he's feeling self-conscious?
About his place in that room.
Right. Like, is he being combative because he feels like old boy is being is trying to come at him?
Right. Right.
And you couples like if you have female friends, I have female friends who've had this dynamic and just sort of navigating it. There's a wonderful moment he buys her tickets to go see Shaka Khan, and a scalper has better tickets,
and it's her birthday,
and he's taking her out, he's bought these tickets. She's had a rough pregnancy. Things are tough financially. She has the opportunity to get better seats. It does not dawn on her how insulting this is until she's already bought the tickets. And I just loved how messy it is. Like, I love how visceral and messy all of this is, where, again, I feel like Terry McMillian knows what she's talking about. Like, it's almost a Zora Neale Hurston. Like, she's almost like a cultural anthropologist. Like, you get the sense that she just collects stories and collects situations and talks to people. I am sure Sanaa Lathan is better in something else, but I could not think of it this afternoon.
Yeah.
I think she is so good in here. She is sexy. She is vulnerable. She can be mean. She is frustrated. Like, this is a 3-dimensional character.
Yeah, absolutely.
In this situation.
Absolutely.
Like you, I think Wesley Snipes does well. I think he reads too old. Like, I think Wesley Snipes' age is distracting. Now, the rumor I've always heard, and I'm not going to go into it because I couldn't find anything written this afternoon, but the rumor I've always heard is that another actor was supposed to play this role.
Oh, interesting.
And there were some interpersonal issues, and he didn't play the role, and Wesley Snipes had to step in.
Oh.
That is the rumor I've always heard. And it is very easy to believe that rumor, because this character is not written like someone Wesley Snipes' age. And I do think
yes. Yeah.
It's a little, some like an incongruity where Zora and her girls are almost like in a deleted scene from Brown Sugar.
Yeah.
But then Clark Johnson and Wesley Snipes are in like Act 2 of an August Wilson play.
Yes.
Like
whole setting.
Right. They just two 45-year-old dudes at the bar.
Yeah.
Who are manly men.
Yeah.
Who are struggling with life.
Yeah. It's August Wilson's The Corner.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And there is something where that kind of jams up that I think if the actor who played Franklin was a little younger, or the actress who played Zora was a little older, it wouldn't be so jarring. But it's hard to say you want one of these actors to be replaced because they're both so good.
That's right.
And I liked it.
I'm sorry, you were talking about that great scene, the scene between them. It reminds me of, I think, another great scene that speaks to her acting because you mentioned that they have a child, but when she learns and tells him of the pregnancy, well, he learns of the pregnancy, which is a great scene too when he learns of the pregnancy.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't initially tell him because she's unsure of what she's going to do.
Oh, I think I think she had an appointment to go get an abortion.
Right. She knew. Okay. Right.
Yeah.
And then he more or less cries her into not having the abortion.
Yeah.
But it is written all over her face at that moment that that's not truly what she wants. She's very extremely happy when she has their son. But in that moment, especially considering where her career was going, because the unanswered question in that scene, and it is asked, is, well, what about my singing?
Right.
And he never answers that. All he says is, babe, I'll do whatever I need to do. I'll work 5 jobs. Please don't kill my baby.
Look, as Aunjanue Ellis says, you got 2 children you can't take care of now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this isn't people being mean. I mean, these are just the facts on the ground.
And it was just the facts.
Like, these are just the facts on the ground.
And she was not being mean.
Like, I know you mean well, but your economic situation is not such that I should be entering into some long-term connection with you.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, I think that's on her face.
Yeah.
But you believe this couple because you've seen this couple.
Right.
And,
right.
You know, the greatest compliment I can give, I've mentioned this before, I absolutely hate when these movies drop in Nina Simone or Donny Hathaway as a cheat code. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, now you got to feel a certain way. We gonna play some Donny Hathaway.
It's totally unearned more often than not.
And Gina Prince-Bythewood actually makes a Nina Simone sandwich where it's Donny Hathaway, then it's Nina Simone, and then it's Donny Hathaway again. And it is completely earned.
Yep.
It is powerful. Mm-hmm. It is earned. The only thing that really bothers me about this film, I kind of wish it was made earlier. Like, unfortunately, I think we looked at it through the lens of Love Jones and, you know, sort of the black boho thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's really sad because I think this is a film that should stand on its own outside of that. And it doesn't help that Sanaa Lathan is in it and you know, Regina Hall. So, you know, you've already got these kind of these two actors who are going to show up in these black boho films in the next 5-6 years. But yeah, I've always enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it today. And I have to say the real standout for me this afternoon was Sanaa Lathan.
Yeah.
You know what I actually wish, and this is to your point about, you know, some of the details, you know, all the balls in the air weren't really juggled as much. I wish Issa Rae could get her hand on this and make like a series, like a mini series, like a 5-6 episode, and really let this thing breathe. because there is a lot of story in here. And there is a lot, like we didn't even mention character actor, and I just forgot his name, who plays Zora's dad, who shows up for one scene.
Right. It's just out of the blue, just shows up.
Absolutely, and I love him. I always think about him in The Apostle.
Yeah, John Beasley.
John Beasley shows up for one scene, has this amazing scene with Wesley Snipes.
Wesley Snipes, yeah.
About manhood. And then he's gone.
Yep.
You know there's more with John Amos.
Yeah.
You know there's more with Ingenue Ellis. So, I would like...
person young in her career.
How about that?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I really, really enjoyed it.
So did I. You talk about a 5 or 6 episode. Doing a show like this, doing this justice, I could see this as a series. Fuck 5 or 6 episodes. I give them 5 or 6 seasons. Let's see the relationship. Let every season be another year in the relationship.
Only if they're brave enough to do what so many of these movies and so many of these shows don't. Land on, they might not be together. Like, I love the ambiguity of the end.
Yeah, because you don't know whether or not they're together or they're just co-parenting.
We're trying to figure it out, but nobody falls in each other's arms.
Mm-hmm.
The real last exchange they have is them acknowledging we've done so well apart.
Right. Which is, whoo, that sometimes can be a hurt piece, man. Look, it's a beautiful thing. You're glad to know it, but it could be a hurt piece. It could be a hurt piece. But good movie.
Yeah.
Really, really.
Yeah, and I wish it was released in theaters.
I do too. I wish that, I don't know how you saw it, but while it is streaming, it's not like streaming. Like, it's not like on Netflix.
Yeah.
It got to rent it. Like,
right.
Which is actually surprising because it was a made for HBO movie.
Right. Why is it not on HBO?
Like HBO Max.
Yeah.
But I guess that probably has something to do with rights or things like that. But yeah, because I think this is a movie that people should discover.
Yeah.
And watch. You know. I think for this whole Sanaa Lathan of it all, to do a true assessment of Wesley Snipes as an actor. He's not just Blade.
Right,
right. There's a lot to discuss. And to do a full assessment of Terry McMillian. Yeah. In her works. So, yeah.
Excuse me. Yes, absolutely.
And you haven't asked, but I will answer.
Would you recommend Disappearing Acts?
I would wholeheartedly recommend Disappearing Acts. Go check it out.
As would I. Yeah. Absolutely.
Please do.